Welcome to the Private Practice with Soul podcast. My name is Dr. Brooklyn Storme, and I help private practice owners align their business back with their soul's calling, with their big vision and with their soul's purpose. Unlike other private practice coaches, I've traveled the world in search of spiritual resources, spiritual tools, education and information so that you can have the transformation that your soul desires and needs so that you can up-level your business. How much fun is this? I love it so much. Guys, if you're not already a member of the Private Practice Monthly Mentorship Group, please check out the show notes. I would love for you to be there. In the meantime, thank you so much for pushing play today. Let's begin. Hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Private Practice with Soul podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Brooklyn Storme, and I want to welcome you to another Saturday edition of the podcast. Hello and good morning to all of the new subscribers. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you get a chance, please go back through and binge listen to some of the other content. I'm sure it's going to be valuable and useful and helpful for you. Today, what I wanted to do was talk with you about 3 surprising facts that you might not know about alignment. And alignment is one of the key foundations that we talk about in the private practice method. And I have used it to build not 1, but 2 profitable businesses. And I could talk about alignment all day long. Honestly, it's one of my very, very favorite topics. And I think there's some confusion around what alignment is. And when I'm, speaking or I'm talking to people and I'm asking them, well, what is your practice in alignment? Sometimes people will say to me, who's got time for that, Brooklyn? Like, I'm not like you. I'm not into the woo. I don't have time to sit around and contemplate life and, to journal out all my deepest desires and everything. I've got clients to see, staff to manage, jobs to fill, referrals to get off my wait list and into the practice. And yeah, it sounds really lovely and I'm pleased for you that you can do that, but I don't have time. And here's the thing, I totally get why women in private practice think that. I absolutely do, because I used to be in that space myself. I think when we start our businesses, we often go into it thinking, oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to have more time to be able to spend with my family, and I'm going to be able to do school drop off and school pick up. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to love it. Oh, it's just going to change my life. Well, it does change your life, but sometimes you can find yourself working longer than you plan to. Instead of seeing 6 clients a day, now you've got to get into the practice early to open it up and get it ready. You've got to hire a team. You've got to stay behind. You've got reports to write, team to manage, ads to write for positions, tender applications to write, all of that. So your marketing, the list goes on and on and on. And your books too, because I know a lot of you are doing your own books while you're starting while you're starting in solo private practice. You're doing everything, you're wearing all of the hats. So yeah, when somebody like me comes along and says, hey, you should get your business into alignment, it's like, oh my gosh, that's another thing on my to-do list. I totally get it. So yeah, as I said, I was in that place too up until a few years ago, and everything changed for me when, as you know, I had that big experience in psychology and it rocked me to my core. I refer to it as the dark night of the soul for me. You know how in your life you have 1 or 2 really significant events that end up pivoting you in a totally different direction. That's what happened for me as a result of that experience, and it's what got me over here into spiritual life and business coaching, which I just love, love, love. But here's the thing. I learned about this concept of alignment, and I was really open because I'm a sponge. I absorb everything. I don't believe everything, but I absorb it because I really love to go away and think about things for myself. I love critical thinking. And anyway, so when this topic of alignment was first presented to me, I was thinking, I wonder what this actually means for me, and what's this going to mean in day-to-day life? What's this going to mean in day-to-day business? And so I gave it a lot of thought, and then I ended up coming up with a model that I'm really proud of, that's all geared around how you can align your values and other things, but mostly your values, to your private practice and vice versa. And the advantage of doing this is, well, so much. And I'm going to go over 3 of them now. And like, they're just the top 3 that came to mind, because I wanted to share them with you in the spirit of perhaps inspiring you at some point to do some of that inner work yourself around aligning your private practice. So the first thing that came through for me was it really helped me be more productive and more efficient. Okay. So like I have 50% German blood in me, 50% Dutch. And it's like a running joke in my family that I'm super efficient. It's like the German side of me coming out. I will always find the most efficient way of doing things. And always people will say to me, oh my gosh, how did you get all of that stuff done today? Or how did you get through all of that this week? That's huge. You've done the work of 3 or 4 people. But that's just like my normal. And it always has been. But pre-understanding what alignment was, I used to always feel like I was pushing. And I used to have like these really long days in the practice. And then I'd come home fairly late at night. And it was all I could do to have dinner and a shower. I'd maybe watch TV for half an hour just to sort of, close my mind down, start winding down so I could go to sleep. So yeah, I was busy, but I didn't have a life, and I was stressed, and I was constantly under pressure, and my adrenaline was always going. And yeah, I was just depleting myself of any energy. Like it was coffee that kept me going. And I didn't have any time for looking after myself. Like I stopped going to ballroom dancing, which I loved doing, and I stopped seeing friends, and I stopped having relationships. Like I haven't been on a date for 3 years now. So all of that stuff was happening. So anyway, I hear about this concept of alignment, and I'm thinking, okay, how can I fit this in to my world, and how can I test it out and see if it's going to work for me? And so what I found was that when I started incorporating my alignment process I had to bring it into my life first. And I just did that by introducing it into my morning routine. And don't panic about a morning routine. Like you don't need to go and create one. Like I still don't have a perfect morning routine. It's changed a lot with everything that's happening in Victoria at the moment with COVID and our stage 4 restrictions. It's like a state of disaster here. We can only leave the house for 1 hour a day. So I'm very limited in terms of what I can do for a morning routine now. So I'm still working through that. But your morning routine is just the steps that you take pretty much in the same order most days. And so for me, having alignment in the practice meant beginning my day with alignment. So what I do now, for example, is one of my values is I want to feel energized by my work. And I understand that in order for me to feel energized, I need to start the day clear. And so I will always do a 10-minute guided meditation before I get out of bed. I just tried meditating at all different times of the day and night, and it just wasn't working. And then I thought, well, I can just set my alarm 10 minutes earlier. I can still stay in bed. I'm not going to be time poor. It's not going to, cost me time. And so I just do it when I'm in bed before I get up, and then it's done and I feel really great. But anyway, that was one step that I took to embodying alignment. And then what I did was started applying an alignment process to the practice. To my surprise, what ended up happening was I maintained and improved on my level of productivity and on my level of efficiency. I mean, it was amazing. But here's the thing, I was actually finding that I was being energized by the work. I was feeling, I don't know, like I don't even know how to say it. It was like I was excited. I was looking forward to going to work. The work that I was doing, because I was approaching it from this new perspective now, was filling me up. I loved it. I was super happy to be there. And being in that state of mind helped me find my flow, right? So when you operate in your flow state, everything just comes so much more easily. The other thing that I learned to do was tune into my energy and not push when I was feeling disengaged or disconnected from the task that I needed to do in that moment. So that was the first real benefit. So if you're somebody who is operating mostly from her masculine energy and she's stuck in that doing space, then this is going to work really well for you, because you will still be able to get to do all of the things and then even more. But it was also going to allow you to tie that in really nicely with your feminine energy of being in a flow state. So cool, right? The second thing is that I was able to attract more. Operating the practice and the business from a place of alignment has definitely allowed me to attract more. It's allowed me to attract more in terms of clients, in terms of word of mouth referrals, in terms of appointment bookings, and it's allowed me to attract more in terms of money and cash flow into both of the businesses, which is really, 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 really cool, because back in the day when I first started my solo private practice, I didn't even, well, it's not that I didn't have time, I probably didn't, but it was just never on my radar to be tracking my numbers. I was just so busy keeping up with returning phone messages, emails, seeing clients, all of that sort of stuff, that I wasn't attracting anything. I was probably being repellent. I've mentioned before on previous episodes that I was seeing a number of clients. I was working really hard and people were ringing the phone while I was in sessions. And although the phone was on silent, it had this red light. And so my whole office would just keep flashing this bright red light, even if I put covers over it. So it was like this constant pressure all the time. And I think what ended up happening was I started to give off a vibe like, oh no, there's the phone, or oh no, not another voicemail, or oh no, not another email. And so that obviously is going to have an effect on your private practice. So this is what's so important, to be able to swing over into that energy of alignment. It just means that instead of you having to market, instead of you having to sell, instead of you having to advertise, push, all of that sort of stuff, it means that people are just naturally going to be drawn to you. And so that's one of the really, really beautiful things. Using a framework of alignment becomes like a little bit of a light bulb, and then all these butterflies and beautiful moths and everything come to the light, because they want to bask in it. They want more of that energy. They want more of that beautiful experience. They want more of that essence of you, that essence of your practice. They want to be around that. And so they come to it, right? And then the third thing that I noticed as a result of bringing my practice into alignment was I had a really sharp spike in an increase in retention for my clients. So what ended up happening was I changed models for my private practice as well, to bring as part of bringing the practice into alignment. And as a result of that, what I noticed over time was that, it was this really clear, upward trajectory of retention with my clients. And even to this day, I have such a high retention level. It's amazing. And I get to work with people in new and exciting ways. And we get to dive more deeply now too into some of that other stuff. Sometimes when people come and see you and they're under certain funding models, you don't get to go really deeply into things. If people are expecting they're going to get well, in inverted commas, in 6 appointments or 10 appointments, that would be great if that could absolutely happen. I'm sure it does for some people, but I'm sure there are other people who do value more time so that they can actually go deeper and get to the root of things and sort things out. And so by using that model, I was able to increase retention. And then that retention not only was beneficial for my clients, it was beneficial for my business, because it allowed me to be able to project with greater accuracy the money that was going to be coming in from month to month or week to week for the business. And then from there, what I was able to do was reinvest back into it for my clients. And so that reinvestment looked like I was able to go and do more professional development. I was able to go and upskill. I was able to invest in new things for the practice, new tools, new assessments, new furnishings even, all of that sort of stuff. So it's like everybody benefits when you've got a really good retention rate, and it just takes all the pressure off you. It takes pressure off your clients. Your referrers love it because they think, wow, this is amazing. Like, she's really helping my client or my patient here. And who wouldn't want that? It's so important. And yeah, look, there's just so many surprising fun facts about what can happen for your practice when you're able to apply that framework of alignment. And does it take time to do? Well, it's like how long's a piece of string? I think, like anything, if you see the value in it, you can absolutely affect some change pretty quickly. But ideally, you want to create a practice in alignment. That's going to be much easier than trying to transition an existing practice into an aligned practice. I work with people in both situations, but it's just much easier for people who are starting to create something from that space, using that framework, using that model. Like, for example, one lady that I'm working with, she decided a few weeks ago that she wanted to open a private practice. She had no idea about it. We got the private practice. It's open. She's got a website. She's got a domain name. She's got her email. She's, do you know what I mean? And she's already received 7 referrals, and she's not advertising. But it's because people saw her website and they're like, oh my gosh, and they had a conversation with her and they're like, oh my gosh, you're so different to the other people that I've spoken to. And it's because of that alignment. When you're operating from a place of alignment, you can communicate more powerfully with the clients that you really want to be attracting to the business. And because you're communicating with them in a very powerful way, in a very effective way that your colleagues perhaps aren't, it means that people do approach you. They want to work with you. They'll book sessions out with you. They turn into like your biggest raving fans because they feel like you get them, like you understand them, like you can help them. And guess what? When you get to work with your aligned clients, it sounds like a dream, but they're like dream clients. It's like the best feeling in the whole world, because imagine being able to work with somebody that's totally on the same page as you, that totally gets where you're coming from, that you get where they're coming from. Imagine being able to already start at that place. It's not like you're having to teach somebody and onboard somebody. It's like they're already there and you get to move on, and go and do all that really big, cool, beautiful, soul-led, soul-driven, intentional stuff. And it's just like, wow, it's mind-blowing, and it's so much fun, and you're both lit up by it, and it's like so cool. Anyway, I'm just so excited talking about it. But anyway, that's in a nutshell, of course, 3 surprising, fun, beautiful facts about how your practice and even your life can benefit from you understanding what alignment is and being able to use a process to bring the private practice into a state of alignment for you. I know, right? I love it so much. And if you're wanting to go deeper with this, then you might be interested in something that I'm about to share with you, and that's the doors open now to the Private Practice Monthly Mentorship. They only open 3 times a year. It's a beautiful group. It's got women like us in it that are soul-led, spiritual women, all at different stages of their private practice. Some are psychologists, some are social workers, some are accredited mental health social workers, some are counselors, and they're from all over the world. And we get together, and each week we have like a coaching session, a training session. There's on-demand coaching in the group. We do soul card readings on Sundays to help the ladies set their intention for the week ahead. And it's so much fun. And I have a promotion on at the moment for anybody who might be interested in that. So I'll put the link to that in the show notes for today as well. So you can come and check it out, have a look around, see what you think, and yes, we can go from there. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a really, 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 really beautiful Saturday, and I will see you on Wednesday. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Private Practice with Soul podcast today. If you're looking for clarity, if you need help with branding, your processes, and bringing everything into alignment with your soul's purpose for your private practice, head to the show notes and click the link for more information about the Private Practice Monthly Mentorship Group. You are going to love it. I can't wait to see you in there. Thanks so much for listening. Bye.